Rocio to Drew said he wasn't coming tonight.
He didn't say.
That's still part excuse. That's a you.
That's a you.
This is my favorite.
Yeah. I don't know what's about.
Yeah.
So he said, "Oh, hey."
Mhm.
What page is that?
Mhm.
Oh, that's interesting.
What do you think?
Is everybody from the company here?
Not that I know of. But we do have, some.
Yeah, I saw that one. Hydrologist, principal hydrologist. I suppose there are.
What's fun, the mechanical stuff, you know.
Yeah, incredibly awesome.
Contamination from open wells and all that other good stuff.
Awesome, awesome.
Reminds me of my days in toxic waste.
Yeah.
No, you don't. That's a bad place, yeah. Well, safe. I guess you could say Jacksonville and Yellowstone, but there are really more Idaho.
No.
I
How are you?
Tired.
Yeah, I bet. This is misery, you know, right? It's getting paid all the time now. It's not-
Well, I will.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 minutes.
While you work for that.
Tom. Bob Longs. Nice to meet you. Let's see you yet.
Dave.
Dave, nice to meet you.
Yeah, you as well.
I just came to answer questions about our proposals. If you have any, I'm happy to answer. Perfect.
There's an
It
is.
With that is. Okay. Good for you. Way too much money. Perhaps, I'm going to some 30. Oh, there's.
No,
Yeah.
he didn't say.
People around with a coffee. Never leave. It's just a holiday.
Yes, a long time. It's sometimes. There's something that you get that.
I had to call. I had to text them that they go for the phone.
Mhm.
Did you guys hear from Drew at all?
No. Mhm.
You've got 2 minutes.
Sure. Yeah, I know that.
Yes.
Madam Mayor. Yes. Can I clarify something here? This is listed as a work session
but we don't make decisions at work sessions. But we're
We
being
can
asked,
make recommendations.
okay, because we're being asked, I think on two different things here.
Yeah,
It's
Jeremy's
a-
asking basically for permission to move forward with A, B, C.
It's a special work session which allows us for voting.
That's special, okay,
Because
that's why city council special work session. That, good, okay, thank you.
It's a special.
we're special now.
You're special.
We're here.
We're still special.
Okay, well, I haven't heard from Drew, so Drew will be the run-in or revote. Ready? We'll bring this meeting to order at 6:30. Let's say the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Everybody's here except for Councilor Lindbergh.
Nope.
And if it's all right with you, we're gonna move the firemen up to the first item on the agenda. All right, let us have our firemen.
Right, so page.
It's back there, ways.
241.
More things.
Okay. So. You wanna go ahead? Okay, so last council meeting, the question was raised about closing down the streets on Joel Palmer Way. So that would be 7th and Sweeney Street, but just barricade to local traffic only. In the interest of protecting the children that are trick or treating on Halloween.
So Mayor and Council, I don't think I've met every single one of you. I'm Scott Law, I'm the fire chief for Dayton Fire District. One of my members came up to me, approached about a month and a half ago, saying that as a former resident down Joel Palmer Way, they've had some serious safety concerns with lots of kids, dark clothes, running across the street in between houses, parents following them in vehicles, and it was very traffic congested down there. As an emergency services provider, that brought up some concerns about access for us, safety for the community. And so therefore I forwarded his concerns on to, it was to you, Dave, I think I sent it to see if that's something that the city would entertain. They brought it to you at last session, and that's where we get to tonight. So we're here if you've got any questions for us. I've not experienced Halloween in town yet, so I don't know. I also know this year it's a Friday. It's also gonna be a big football game. So it's gonna be potentially a very busy for our community that evening, and we'll be ready at the fire district, but I just wanted to bring that up as a potential option to potentially reduce risk to the community, so.
Oh, thank you. I wholeheartedly think this is a great idea. That is bedlam down there on Joel Palmer Way. And I think that's, really cool that it's such a safe place for families to come, but we need to make it safer. And I really appreciate this idea. And support.
So when you say it's gonna be closed off, it's gonna be closed off even from the parents in their cars.
The proposal that I talked to Dave with was local access only, so for residents to be able to drive down and get in and out of their homes, which makes sense, but strongly encourage those others with barricades similar to the softball tournament from a couple of weeks ago. Sorry, it probably wasn't the best example, but as a simple request, and hopefully people will follow that request and either walk with their kids down there or keep their cars out of there.
I wonder if we need signage,
Well, I was just thinking that,
Please.
yeah.
Halloween parking, walk with your kiddos. I
Yeah,
don't
like
know.
maybe they could park in the softball parking field or something and then walk.
Elementary school parking lots as
Yeah.
well.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it is dangerous.
We'd have to open them up. There's chains across the elementary schools. right?
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah, but
Easy.
and a lot of people will just line Berry Street.
I'd open our parking lot, but I'd be a little cautious to prevent volunteers from parking if there's an emergency, so.
Good idea.
There's only about 15 spots in there, 20 spots, so.
Does anybody else have any other questions?
No,
Are you opposed to
not
this?
at all.
Do we? Yes,
I move to approve temporary safety measures discussed for Halloween on Seventh and Sweeney Street.
Second.
I have a motion, listen, motion from Counselor Peterson, a second from. You're gonna, Wilkins, thank you. He's new, I apologize. So remember the last name. All those in favor? Aye. Motion passed.
Thank you,
Yeah,
Council.
thank you.
Thank
for
you.
coming tonight. You guys are awesome. Did you keep the noise down coming through?
I love our.
I like the siren, actually.
Yeah, I love that.
You know, it went out when the timer died, funny little story, timer died like literally the week I started here. Everybody thought I came down and shut it off, I'm like, I didn't even. We just needed to find the timer to put a new timer on, so it didn't go off at 3 a.m. for everybody.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, we'll move on up to the Fisher Farms close for permitting. Don?
As you guys have in front of you, the city was able to secure, grant funding to construct some necessary improvements to bring Fisher Farms wells online as municipal water sources. The construction grant funding must be spent by 6/30/27. Any unspent funds risk reverting to the state. Since it was appropriated out of the state's general fund. The city will need to complete several tasks prior to starting this construction. Those tasks include permitting through OHA, water quality testing, and developing groundwater development strategy to inform construction designs. Qualified hydrogeologist firm is necessary to provide consulting services to the city to complete these tasks. Since the cost of consulting services was expected to exceed the small procurement threshold, Jeremy had obtained quotes from qualified firms through the informal selection procedure per the city's public contracting rule. The city manager is required to contact at least 3 prospective contractors qualified to offer these goods or services. And selection is based on the city's best interest. On October 9th, Business Oregon informed the city that its technical assistance funding request for this project was approved. The funding included $50,000 grant and a 10-year loan at 1% for $156,588. And we will receive the funding around 30 days from the date of the award letter. At this stage, Jeremy is requesting city council selection of a consultant contingent on review by Business Oregon and receipt of fully executed technical assistance funding contract. The plan is to have the contract and the consultant ready for approval at the same time. At the same time, the city approves the funding contract. That way, this project can start without further delay, given the tight deadline to spend the grant funding for construction. Since the contract would exceed the city manager's purchasing authority, city council approval is required.
You're with the CW.
CWM.
Go ahead and,
Make my pitch. Hi, I'm Bob Long. I'm a senior hydrogeologist with CWM H2O. We've been working a little bit with Jeremy on the Fisher Farm site the last month or so. And Don was kind enough to give us a little tour of the property. And at that time, we found out a lot of interesting things about the property and things that'll have to be addressed as part of the OHA site plan. We discussed that in our scope of work. We don't like surprises, and that's why we try to do the best job we can to put everything out in front of council. Those things are things that you will have to address as a condition. But I wanted to be here tonight just to talk a little bit more about the proposals that were submitted. You have three very well qualified firms. I think we did a great job on our proposal. I wish we had had more time to work with contractors to get better bids. In my analysis of the package, that's really where the dollars are in the pump contractor. And I'll say just one thing about pump contractors. You can get the cheapest pump contractor, but they got to show up. And they got to show up on time, and they got to be ready to go when the city's ready to go. So I know in working with Cascade Waterworks that they're an excellent group. We've worked with them 2 other cities, and I'm very confident of their capabilities. If I had had this project to do from the start, I probably would have hired the consultant and then bid out the job for the contracting, so the contractors know exactly what it is they are bidding on. The other thing I noticed in the proposals, which I found odd, was Jeremy asked me to break it out into 4 separate wells, cost for each. And I noticed the 2 other proposals didn't do that, and I don't understand why. But when you do that, a contractor looks at each one of those as something that he has to be able to make money on in one shot. That means he's going to load each one of those up with his overhead. So that drove up our costs. If we had been given a lump sum cost, I think we could have got it down to $100,000. And I did get another quote to that effect, but I didn't feel like it was appropriate to continue to give one more bid to the city. In giving another alternate approach, I really did look hard at all of the criteria that the city needed to meet for their funding and to get an appropriate level of effort on this well field without spending good money after bad. And that's our alternative bid. I think that meets all the requirements. It's something that we could get done this fall and finish the permitting with OHA early next year. If council has any questions about any of these bids or our bid, I'm happy to be here to answer them.
Does anybody have?
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Are we prepared to make a motion?
Mayor, the email that. you have to
Oh,
read into-
yes, I have to read the thing. Nobody is here from Summit today, so it's from a Jason Milady, dated October 20, 2025. Jeremy, I've reviewed the council packet for the meeting tonight in which you are recommending award of the Fisher Farms project GSI at a price that is $10,000 more than our revised proposal submitted to you on October 10th, 2025. I've noted some inaccuracies in the information presented and hope that they can be resolved before council meeting. The table below is extracted from the council packet and does not accurately reflect Summit's cost of $164,415 presented in our revised proposal. Additionally, this doesn't include our alternative option that I have mentioned multiple times as a highly probability of success and would save the city an additional $55,000. This cost savings alternative is actually mentioned in your recommendation to council as an uncertain assumption about reusing existing pumps, implying that our full proposal costs are based on this alternative. This is not accurate description of our proposal and does not present the city council with any information about the alternative in our proposal that could save the city 37% as compared to GSI proposal. Based on what I'm seeing, I would like to formally request that the city city council package be revised as followed. Update the table shown below in your recommendation to council to show our revised proposal total of 164,415. Remove reference to our full proposal being based on uncertain assumption about reusing existing pumps, and accurately describe that Summit has proposed an alternative approach that could reduce our proposed cost by 55K. We appreciate the opportunity to prepare a proposal for this project and have provided competitive rates and a potentially valuable alternative project approach in the interest of the city's bottom line. If presented accurately and fairly, I believe your statement that GSI's updated pricing is competitive with Summit is not factual, and I'm hopeful that the Dayton's city council will have correct information to make a sound financial decision on behalf of its rates. I'll pass around the little chart.
It's also the chart on page 4.
Okay, there was too much information for me to digest from another.
On page 4.
Oh, I see it, yeah. Yeah. On page,
Page
Or,
4
okay.
says 172, not 160 something. I thought I heard.
that's the chart that Steve has there. 72, it's the same.
Yeah, I don't know
Well, I
why.
thought they mentioned 160.
Was the chart supposed to be part of the record that he wanted to put in?
That's the part of he wants corrected to change
Oh, I see,
the
it's wrong.
172 to 160.
Yes, exactly.
I see, okay.
But but not change the bid, just the price. Assuming that's what he's asking for.
Well, it changed.
In in the proposals that are included, that's where. Let's see,
Well, I read his proposal, but it would be the same proposal with just 164, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what he was trying to say.
I believe so.
And I didn't read in that Summit proposal that they were proposing to use our existing equipment for the primary bid, their primary proposal. I read that that was an alternate proposal to use our equipment to do the testing. Am I correct in that? From what other people,
That's what I understood, that there was an alternate.
Donna, I mean, you probably know more about this stuff than anybody else.
Yes, it says the alternative consists of using the well's existing pumping systems
Right.
instead of temporary test pumps to perform the 24-hour.
For a total cost of 109. Which is the low bid of everybody.
And we're not required to go by the lowest bid either.
Mhm. And I have some thoughts with your permission on there, but.
Please support.
So I read all 3 proposals pretty thoroughly at the behest of somebody I know. Named Dave. And I liked. CWM's proposal for its technical explanations. I hear what you say about grouping the 4 together as a combined cost instead of as individual costs. I think you had each one at 37,000 or something like that.
Yeah, that also includes the water quality,
Right.
which is another.
I noticed that we didn't have biofilm testing included in that proposal. Biological testing for magnesium and iron. And
No, that's in there, it's in our proposal.
Oh, was it? Cause I thought I read some language in there saying that you would like to include that, but that would be extra.
I did include it, yeah,
Okay. Yeah.
yeah.
I may have a question for you, Don, if you can. Do we really need, is there a benefit in trying to put the cost up on 2 wells that only combine to give us 80 gallons per minute? Is that beneficial to our overall municipal water supply?
I believe Jeremy's thought on that is. We have rights to the 4 exist, and I believe he was trying to utilize all 4, but dollar wise, I don't know.
It's a lot less expensive than other alternatives.
I mean, for a municipal water source, and this is a 2014 assessment, so we don't even know if if those flow rates are accurate. Of 80 gallons a minute, when you compare it with the other combined two wells of 348 gallons a minute, which is actually a significant boost to our water supply. And the cost savings would be. I mean, tremendous at 128 as opposed to 213,000 in terms of expenditures. And you guys would do an evaluation on those two other wells anyway.
Absolutely, they get pulled out and evaluated and reinstalled.
Mhm.
The city already has, sufficient pump tests, they're rough. 4 hour tests for looking at the capacity of those wells, but those are old wells, they're not designed efficiently, they're designed for an extensive farm operation, they're slot cut, probably will sand if they're pushed. And like you said, they don't make a lot of money, there's already a domestic use on one of them.
Mhm.
I don't know if the city wants to continue that use, at that location, that would depend on long-term planning. But it seems like that's gonna be a domestic well for a while. It just, the cost of incorporating those into a municipal system, going through OHA. Is gonna be hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Mhm.
Probably more than $200,000 to replace those, and the wells themselves. Are, they're inefficient wells. Sure, they make some water and 80 gallons a minute sounds like a lot right now per day. Right, based on, what you need. But once you get that 300 gallons online. You're gonna wanna put your money, into the things that really give you bang for a buck. But we'll evaluate these, we'll pull out the wells, we'll look at all the pumps, we'll give the cost estimates. And we can tell you what they will produce based on the information that we have. Because the limitation here is not the aquifer, not what the aquifer can do, it's what the well can do, because it's so efficient. The other two, the reason to do the 24 hour test is to really test the aquifer. To see how much can we develop, can we put 9 wells in here? Maybe not. But at least we'll tell you how many you can and what you can reasonably put in under your water rights. And maintain your aquifer resource, because you want long-term care of that resource for the city. But 300 gallons a minute will take the city a long way during the summertime.
Almost 350 gallons. Right?
Yeah,
That is if those 2014 numbers hold up. So what is, I mean, you're the technical guy here, what do you think about that extra 80 gallons? This is your headache, kind of.
No, I agree. I mean. I guess you just have to figure out if you wanna invest the money in that 80 gallons a minute or. Not. Like Bob said.
But what I'm asking you direct is, do you think it would make an impact on our ability to deliver water to our customers today?
Well, I mean, I think every drop of water is gonna be. Needed here in the community, but I mean. If you have to sit down and look at cost for what that's gonna bring you. I mean, guess you have to weigh it out, is it worth it or not?
Yeah. What about the setbacks? Who owns the property in Dayton? We do those. I think we do, yeah, that's what I heard. So the property within 100 feet of like well two, for instance, that belongs to us.
Yes.
So we wouldn't necessarily have to sign the waivers, because they talk about in several of these things that we need to sign a waiver. Protecting that particular setback.
Yeah, I don't believe that there would be anything like that, when we talked about it with Denny, the city's engineer, I believe that we were.
That we don't do nothing.
I believe that it would work out what we needed around them. With what we own on the property.
Okay.
Anybody else have any questions?
I guess I,
Go first.
kind of a follow-up, so Bob, the, you know, you'd be looking, would you be looking at each well separate? I mean, like, would you kind of say, yeah, that's not.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then that would take down on your bid considerably.
You will have enough information to know how much those wells can produce over a 60-day period. We have enough information to tell you that. Because the wells themselves limit what you can pump from them. We're gonna videotape them, we're gonna test the water quality, we're gonna do everything you need to do for them to become a municipal supply well. The thing that we're not doing is this 24-hour pump test, which is incredibly expensive for those little wells. It's not gonna give you any more information about your resource because it's the well itself that is gonna limit your understanding of that resource. Now, the other two big wells that are more modern in terms of their design, those are gonna give you a really good understanding of how much water can we pump and how do we stay within the conditions of our water rights. The other point I was trying to make in our alternative was, once you submit to OHA and you're going in with a multiple submittal, you might as well put all the wells on. It's the same cost. There's no requirement for the city to develop all these wells. And that's just something for you guys to think about. The cost of the permit itself, the fee, you don't want to have to go through that all again when you decide to like, oh, let's add 2 more wells. Oh, well, here's another $11,000 to go through the initial.
So am I correct in the permitting process being $4,400 for all of the wells?
It,
If we submit as a group, then
yeah,
it's a
it's
definite.
2 or more, so there's no limitation on the.
So that actually makes sense. Make in a way, so might as well, I mean, if we want to put 9 wells in there, we might as well ask for the permit for 9.
I wanna caution everybody, because the funding we're getting is via grants.
Right.
There may be stipulations
Sure.
that are part of the reasoning for not going in
No,
one direction
exactly.
or
I
another,
agree with
and
that.
I do believe that's what on page 4, Jeremy makes reference to.
You have to evaluate all 4 wells.
Mhm.
For sure.
I wish Jeremy was here to offer some elucidation. on
Yeah,
that.
he's- I mean, we don't, it would put things off track a bit, but I mean, we don't have to make a decision tonight if you want the opportunity to speak with Jeremy.
I'd feel more comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Madam Mayor, 'cause I have one last point of clarification.
please,
And that is, so if we go with alternate, the $128,000 alternate, you're still gonna evaluate the other wells. So if we go to the 213,000 alternate, and decide we don't wanna deal with the other 2 wells, will that drop our
Yes,
estimate to 128?
yes.
Okay.
And it doesn't matter who you select, whomever you select, I mean, it matters to me, but for you guys, whoever you select, I would expect Jeremy to work with them to come up with the best alternate, because we can't tell you every single idea that comes to our mind in these proposals. And, the alternate proposal was an opportunity for me to just brainstorm a little bit more. Shorten the schedule and reduce costs, because that's what I would recommend for you guys, based on what I know today.
Mhm.
And it's probably not gonna change, and if the other 2 teams are decent and good, and I believe that they are, they should give you the same recommendation. But I just, I've got 30 years' experience doing this, I work with a lot of municipalities. And I just don't see the point of waiting 4 or 5 months for OHA to come back and tell us what we already know
Mhm.
about, what you're gonna need to do. And in the meantime, you'll have tested the wells and will have more information about proving the fact that it's a confined aquifer in this location. Because that's gonna be what we get back from those pump tests. And that's gonna let you do if you're required to, if you need to, is to change that setback, get a variation. And that's what, when we say we would get a waiver. of the conditions of the OHA permit, because it's confined condition, they're not concerned anymore about contamination coming down around the well. Okay, they're not concerned about that anymore, so they'll give you the waiver, based on your well construction. And then you don't have to worry about a lot of the surface conditions, although the two wells that are out there that are not in use, do not have well logs, those will have to be abandoned.
So am I correct in saying a confined aquifer is an aquifer below an aquifer essentially?
So,
Separated by-
well, you've got a little surface water on top
Yeah.
and a little shallow groundwater, but then you've got 80 feet of clay.
Exactly.
You're not getting a lot of travel from up here down to your water bearing zone. And that's what's protective of your resource here.
Mhm.
It's a great thing to have. And then it also allows you to limit your protective easement to just an enclosure around your well, and you don't have to have that 100-foot setback. You don't have to protect 100 feet. You don't have to go onto the neighbor and say, hey, we're 10 feet on your property. Can we have a change in the title of your property so that we can put our well here? I mean, those are things that are just not gonna happen in this situation. Doesn't matter which way you pick.
Yeah.
So that's the benefit of having a confined conditions.
All right, I need a motion to table it. We'll probably have to do a work session special. Sorry, guys.
Not make a motion. Table it.
Okay.
Motion from Wilcox, second from Hover.
Wilcox.
Did I get it wrong? I did.
You should just turn these.
Dang, I'm so bad. I'm so
It'll take you a
sorry.
while. It'll take you a
Yeah, I
while.
will. Okay. I just wanna call you Colton, that's all, so.
That makes it easy.
It does, doesn't it? All right, so I have a first and a second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Right. All right, we shall take it. Thank you,
And
sir.
thank Bob for showing up. And for the information they provided us. Yeah.
Have my part, if you have any other questions.
Yep.
And I appreciate you taking the extra time.
And it's your fault, we've got a special.
I know, I feel really bad. I apologize, Mayor.
No, it's okay.
Council has a volunteer job and it's
Rather
hard enough as it
than-
is.
No,
Thank you.
thank you so much. All right, we're gonna move on to the Parks Master Plan presentation. Dave, would you like to do the introductions or?
So Steve Dew is here, and he is with Conservation Technics, which is the consulting firm that you agreed to hire for the Parks Master Plan. He appeared before the Planning Commission last month and made a presentation that you're going to see today. So I'll let him take it away and we'll go from there.
All right. Good evening, Mayor, members of council. Again, for the record, Steve Dew, Conservation Techniques. Got a brief presentation just to walk you through some of the highlights of the Parks Master Plan process and plan itself. So jump right into it. So just want to cover a few things, just a little reminder as to what is the purpose of this plan. So plan overview, a little about what we heard from the public, primarily through the community survey. A little on how the plan is structured. I know it's in your packet and it was a lot to read, so apologize for that. But hopefully the information was useful and thorough. But then talk briefly about goals and policies and capital project investments, and then I'll leave some time for discussion and Q&A before next steps. So in terms of next. Purpose of the plan, just as a reminder, the intent of the plan is to serve as the city's strategic plan or guiding document for all things parks and recreation related to improvements in the Dayton community. So enhancing and improving existing facilities, looking for opportunities to expand or grow amenities for the community as the community grows. And really, the big benefit of having a plan is it will help guide future investments. So the project list that's contained within the plan will be a tool for staff to have conversations with council for future budgeting, grant pursuits, etc.
And on that, having a plan adopted also positions the city for being able to pursue additional grant dollars to support projects. The state of Oregon prefers agencies having a plan that give guidance to those investments and show what community priorities are, and this draft document gets there. Next. So in terms of just some of the highlights from the community survey, nearly everybody who took the survey, 96%, feel that parks and recreation opportunities are either essential or important to quality of life in Dayton. So very high marks there, can't get much better than that. So great baseline. And in terms of some of the top priorities that came through the community discussions, improving the boat ramp and access to the river at Dayton Landing, expanding walking and nature trail opportunities, primarily Palmer Creek Trail, improving or adding amenities to the park system to provide things like improved basketball courts or even additional courts for tennis or pickleball, and maybe a splash pad down the road, especially if you get more water. It's a good thing. And improving, the city's playgrounds and providing for shade and shade structures down the road. So in terms of some of the priorities that came through the survey, expanding trail opportunities was at the top of the list. And it was good in the survey to see consistency between questions. So that helps give validation to how people are responding to the survey. Just as a side note also, trail opportunities for walking and biking consistently rank at the top of regional, state, and national trends for the last 15, 20 years. So seeing it come through here in Dayton is no surprise to me. And it's just, again, a consistent bit of data to help illustrate where the community is today. In terms of how the plan is structured, it really does follow kind of a basic city type document. So the front end, the first few chapters, is really about the context, the process. So an introduction, a little community profile, a chapter on the engagement process, and then a discussion of classifications and the inventory that you have today. The middle section is really the heart of the plan, the needs assessment. So chapter 5 covers not only a synthesis of what we heard from the community, but also overlays that with recreation trends and kind of a service assessment to then lend itself towards some discussion about potential recommendations, improvements. The chapter also includes a couple schematics related to Dayton Landing and Legion Field. And then the last section of the plan before the appendix is goals and policies and the capital project list. So again, that capital project list is intended to serve as a tool for future discussions with staff and council about budgeting and park improvements. So with regard to the goals and policies, I just want to walk you through kind of how those are set up structurally. There's several goals. Within each goal, there is an objective and multiple policies. So the first goal really is about promoting and enhancing Dayton's sense of place. So enhancing community activity and civic pride, and through policy statements, making sure that you continue to coordinate with partners and support community events and engagement, volunteer support to help grow or enhance the existing inventory over time. And then also policy discussion about the importance of communications, website, outreach, and ongoing communications with the community so they know what's available and so they know how to be engaged. Okay. Second goal in terms of fostering a healthy and active community just is really about providing for the community's current needs and for future needs for both active and passive spaces. So the types of policies within this relate to safety and maintenance of your existing facilities, looking to acquire a few additional properties to fill some gaps that you have mostly on the west side of town, and as the city grows. That also includes having some site development policies related to the types of things that get put in and how they should be cared for over time. And then just ensuring that you've got diversity of recreation, so you can provide for different kinds of play opportunities for adults and for youth. Third goal related to protecting and enhancing natural environment, and this one speaks mostly to natural open spaces, primarily your creekways, your river. And within that, the policies focus on potentially acquiring additional open space along the creekways to also accommodate conservation easements and or opportunities for walking or trail development. And then with that is also a bit about public agency coordination. So whether it's with the county or other agencies in the state to help support that movement forward. Fourth goal relates to Yamhill River and providing for improved and maintained access to the river. So pursuing the transfer of Dayton Landing from the county and working to improve the shoreline condition, but also provide for water access to the river. So whether that is, dock or pier or some other boat access or just viewing access, those are the sorts of policies that are covered within this goal. Trail goal is really about connectivity, tying the community together through walking and biking routes to connect parks to the schools, to the open spaces that you've got. So extending Plummer Creek Trail, looking to include some planning and development standards for trails, so there's consistency, and that can include things like, width and slope and signage and the types of surfacing. And again, here also public agency coordination. So again, whether it's the county or other potential partners. So that was just a real quick recap of the overall set of goals and policies, and just turning attention to the capital improvement plan, which again is the master list of potential projects. It's intended to be a 20-year plan projects, and it's not an official budget. It's again, a list of projects that staff will bring back to council for consideration for future budgets. The project list includes cost estimates based on today's costs and are escalated out for inflation to our best guess. And includes sequencing of projects to accommodate, a reasonable way to pursue projects over time. And as far as those key projects, that includes the idea to improve Legion Field for additional recreational uses, and that one's caveated with the assumption that the school district could potentially grow sport fields on their property to take the weight off of the existing use at Legion Field to open it up for additional recreation. So the plan has an illustration in there of what potentially could be. But the project list also includes additional amenities like a splash pad, additional picnic shelters, sport courts, upgrading playgrounds, providing shade, extending Palm Creek Trail, and then overall providing for additional wayfinding signage and also some ADA or American with Disability Act enhancements. So people all abilities can utilize what you're offering. And then in terms of growing the system, again, one piece of it is getting the transfer of Dayton Landing so you can develop that in a way that you feel is in alignment with the community, but also looking to, again, pursue some acquisitions primarily on the west side of town and or provide for some trail acquisitions or easements to facilitate the extension of trails. And overall, it's about an $11 million capital program. And the policy in the plan also suggests that that capital project list gets updated periodically over time. So it's not a static list. So again, working between staff and council and the planning commission to update that periodically to make sure it's fresh and reflective of the community's interests. So that's it in a nutshell. Again, I know it's a longer document and there's a lot to digest. I'll ask Dave if you want to comment on next steps beyond tonight.
Next steps would be to adopt the plan as recommended and then put it into our. Comprehensive plan, exactly. So at this point, that would be the next steps that they would take.
So with that, I'll take any questions if you have any.
Madam Mayor,
Yes, before.
what's the grant funding atmosphere out there that would help us with this? Because this isn't something that we're gonna be able to take on without a lot of support from from wherever agencies are out there for that. Is there availability for grants to do some of these projects?
There is, but grants are not a panacea and,
Right.
you know, they are competitive. So, but, you know, Oregon Parks and Recreation provides grants to local agencies, OWEB provides grants. You know, there are other grant agencies within the state that can help support certain types of projects, whether it's natural area enhancements, water access, and just again, general park improvements.
Under Palmer Creek Lodge, speak today, management considerations. It says none noted, but the cost to light and heat the building should probably be listed.
Yeah.
We're going on the assumption we're gonna get that thing back open and keep it running, right?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely, that's why I mentioned that, otherwise,
Yeah,
What's the
it was part of
use?
what I read in here and. I don't think we had actually said we're gonna open it up again, so I'm glad, you know,
oh yeah, no,
We
the
need
the
this.
intention is to open it up again, and
right, yeah.
it's gonna take some months of sucking in our gut and tightening that belt, but we'll get there.
I have two minor, like typo thingies to talk about.
Okay.
Oh, I wonder if it's the same one I found.
Well, it was on page 105, under accomplishments. We reopened the footbridge, we didn't open it. It was up long before our last parks master plan, but we had to close it for safety factors. So we have reopened it.
Yep.
And on page 120, there's a K missing. It says PAR, let me see if I can come down here and find it.
So for my benefit, can you reference the page number of the plan document? Because I don't have the council packet
18.
numbers.
It's
18?
18,
Okay.
yeah, it's the last thing, that's the same one I saw, Dayton's only community.
Oh, thank you. Yep,
There we go, thank you.
got it.
Okay.
Excellent.
Very keen eyes, thank you.
The pictures of the bridge are old. The icky, the feeling.
The old
we
icky
have
one,
new.
yeah.
Good.
We need some updated pictures of our new bridge.
If staff can provide some, we'll swap. them
I'm
out.
sure, Scott.
Oh, that's a good. Good example of why we did close it.
Yeah.
That was good.
Whoa.
And the only other thing, the design opportunity that you mentioned, which I had talked about, somebody saying, can we tear it down and do something there? Was the pump house over in that Andrew Smith Park, you mentioned something about a gazebo type picnic shelter.
Didn't you bring that up?
Thank you. Sorry, it's right by my house, I use the park, my grandkids use the park, so.
So just again, clarify, what's,
Please, yes, that is a big, that's gotta be a project coming up.
okay,
I just don't like the old pump house there, it looks up.
I've had a question for a while. Why are we putting a clock over there? We had it in like last year's budget for a clock tower in Courthouse Square Park. I thought I saw reference to a clock.
Oh, at the front of the entrance, it was discussed, but I don't know that we actually.
Cause I read it in the plan here, there's still mention of a clock. Was wondering why we were gonna spend money on a clock when like almost everybody has one.
Weren't we getting one as a grant? Donette brought that to us, did she not?
What are you talking about, the clock or the tree?
There's a tree
But there was a clock before I retired, before I was thrown out or whatever, it just he's.
You know, this is a good plan, so we don't have to get that specific at this moment in time.
We did talk about it.
Okay, we're nitpicking.
Yeah.
I do have a question for you. In terms of. Working with the school district. For example, the current football field and then all that grassy area that's next to the gym. Seems like it's an area that could be developed for stuff. And that's what you're talking about, I mean, about possibly moving like a softball, baseball field there, or, you know what I mean, like what's the interaction with the school district? Can we use some of their areas as our park area?
It's a great question, and the assumption in the plan is that the city coordinates with the school district and explores those options. We're not necessarily speaking on behalf of the district. We're just suggesting that they have capacity in terms of some space. It's up to them to figure out if they've got the finances or if it's a partnership with the city to make something work with enhancements to provide additional sport fields. And then the other piece to it is whether it makes sense for the city to have an easement to accommodate the trail that would go or continues to go around the elementary school space. So it's more of a publicly accessible space. So there's a couple of things in there that are really just future conversations with the district rather than specific action items.
Yes, when you look at a map, when you look at the parks that we have. There's some big gaps.
Yeah.
And kind of in the middle of those gaps is some school street. Property
Mhm.
that seems developable.
I'd like to see Palmer Creek Trail with the public every year too.
That actually is, there's a lot of volunteers.
Yeah, so
That are
I think we
actively
get
working on
work, I'll be happy to bring it with you or change.
Then we can chat afterwards.
That'd be great.
There's the service club Dayton White Run.
Mhm.
They've taken some of the reins on that with some local arborists
Too.
and heavy equipment people, locals in town. If you haven't been down there, they have widened it some. They are looking, I mean, obviously this is pre this, but they wanna have their kids out there. They're all helping. It's actually been a really good project.
Nice.
And so we're looking to
Yeah, I'll talk with you.
keep going.
Yeah, very good. Community, thank you so much.
Sure.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, will we be making proposals at our next meeting about things?
Well, a motion for you, you know, consideration, that would be in the form of
Resolution
Resolution,
to adopt the
plan.
plan.
for our November meeting.
Yeah.
All right. Yes. We're gonna turn to page 2 a discussion about the local option levy plan. Yes, ma'am.
So this is the same outline that we proposed in the last council meeting. Basically, what we're looking for, is there anything you want to add or give away, or is there something you want to suggest to add to this plan? I also provided some levy history and renewal timeline so that you're aware of how things kind of go and what's happened in the past. I also provided a calendar for the election of 2026 that shows when resolutions are due, when we have to turn it into the county. I also included the last two ballot measures, some summaries that were in the ballot book, so that you can review that and keep that in mind when you're writing the one for this upcoming levy. So is there anything you want to add? Questions?
I like this.
Well thought out plan.
Mhm.
This is excellent. I'm
What-
gonna say this is Dayton history. We have never gone after a levy like this, as far as I know. Never planned it, never had a plan. This is great.
Thank you, Sue.
Thank you.
Thank you, take care.
So if you like this plan and there's nothing you want to change, then by your direction, we can start working on it as staff and bring proposed documents to you.
Do you want like a contact person on council that can, because there's some things staff won't be able to do that we're gonna have to do. So I'm wondering if we should create some sort of a little, rah-rah team to help us.
Task force,
Mhm.
could we do an official task force?
I don't see why not. It would be a permanent task force, it would be temporary.
Keep it under a quorum.
What?
Less than a quorum, please.
Oh, well. That's part of what I think we need to discuss, is because part of Jeremy's plan was putting together a task force, bringing people in. The one thing I thought was missing was maybe DCDA. Get somebody from the DCDA involved.
Chris.
I wonder who. Well, he's already on the council, we need him on the council.
No, he's gonna stay on the council, but he is
He's been
very involved with the DCDA also.
Yeah.
Very much so.
We need to get a representative from the DCDA onto this team if it wasn't already written. But I'm
I don't think
thinking
that's
this
such a
is
bad
what,
idea.
I don't want to do it.
this is what I think we need to do over the next 2 months, is start talking to people and get them ready to come on board and start working, like in January. Cause that is probably gonna be one of our biggest challenges, is getting community members to get on board and help us.
Mhm, for
Um,
sure.
so, but yeah,
Okay, Kitty,
Mhm.
you're the rah-rah person.
well, okay, I will take that. I even have an LOL notebook ready to start, we can put the calendar in here and local option levy, I thought that.
Excellent, all right.
It's been challenging in the holidays, bringing people on board, I think people feel a little overwhelmed at the holidays.
No, we'll be planning on that.
Okay.
And then we'll reach out to people in January after the holidays.
So I think
Okay, that sounds a little bit better.
we might be able to request, people to join us at our first sort of town hallish meeting,
Well, it is listed in here as one of the things for us to do as a town hall. So,
During that town hall, maybe ask community members to join us in planning this and helping. Yeah, I like it.
all right.
Thank you, okay, cool.
Yes,
Should I make a motion?
please.
Madam Mayor, I move to direct staff to begin work on the proposed timeline as discussed.
A second?
Have a motion from Councilor Peterson, a second from Councilor Colton. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. All right, now we're on to our 5th agenda item, breakfast with Santa. The planning, page 253. Go for it with you.
Okay, so, breakfast with Santa, what I outlined here is basically what the job tasks are for that day. So basically what I'm asking is for volunteers for this day. We do need a Santa. There was a conversation of possibly an outside Santa. Otherwise, I mean, it'd be a council person or somebody.
Did you
Within the
tell us
city.
about an out?
Yeah, the soiree and Cypher were hiring a Santa.
Okay.
That's the
What-
Saturday
after Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
This is December 15th, 13th.
Okay,
But it was like, I wanna say it was like $200 for 3 hours.
I think it would be better to have somebody from council do it. And the only reason I say that is because we need to have FaceTime and we need to serve our community.
So we have the Santa costumes, so.
Yeah.
We will provide the costumes for Santa and the elves.
I would be happy to be an elf for Mrs. Santa, or I've done that before.
Okay,
And I do know somebody willing to be Santa. He's done Santa before and was pretty good at it. If anybody else on council wants to do this, cool, but otherwise, my husband,
I said,
um,
I don't mind having make pancakes.
Dave looks like you might be good Santa.
No.
I mean,
You put the beard on him and the hat.
how
Yeah,
would
you
you
might
feel
look good
about
on
being
it.
at the Santa Day?
I'll do it. I've done it many times, so yeah.
Oh, boy, it's experience. So.
Many times.
You have the booming voice.
Yes. I'm a ho-er, okay?
That's the only line you have to know.
That's right, that's it.
Okay,
Merry Christmas, baby.
This one's for riding the fire truck.
and do you have a preference of your role, Miss Kitty?
Mrs. Santa would be cool.
Okay.
I can hand out candy and stuff. I haven't given out books as Mrs. Santa, although I accidentally gave away a library book too.
Darn it. That's what I say.
That's okay, you leave that.
But you know, I mean, it's possible I still have some old children's books in my garage. We can hand out books as well as candy if we're interested. So,
Sure, we're gonna buy the golden Disney books.
well, yeah, they're Disney. I think we have some golden books in there, yeah.
Is there a source on the small toys that are noted in here?
so in the past, we've kind of just sourced them from
Oriental
online.
Trading.
Yeah.
You have a budget for the toys that are given away. So, I mean, we also need ideas on what you think kids
We might have a
want.
bigger
I
in here.
have line on dental twins.
Oh, good, that's right.
So,
Nice, that'd be awesome.
Mhm. Are we doing? No, that's a different time. Never mind. Confusing my time.
So is this expectation that the entire council participate or? is this-
Well, if you don't participate, you need to attend.
Right, I mean, I don't mind participating.
I
wouldn't
think
mind-
we should all attend in some form, right?
Yes, I mean, if you're not
Yeah.
playing a role, you still need to attend.
Yeah.
Now, I have a formal request to ask.
Okay,
Since we're doing the breakfast with Santa, I'm thinking it's a little round tables usually. I would like to set up an official reserved seating at the outside tables. It would mean, you know, we would need some signage, but kind of like what Portland does on their mass transit. These are reserved for wheelchairs and or people with walkers. If all the other tables are full and there's nobody sitting there, you can. But, wheelchairs and walkers really need to be able to pull up at the outside of the tables. I would very much like to start a formal program of reserved seating.
I don't see why, who sets up that in the morning?
How many
Staff.
tables would that be?
Oh, I'm thinking maybe half of the three outside tables.
You think we need that now?
Maybe not, but you know, if we have them available, I've been seeing lots more wheelchairs and walkers in the park. As one shows up, two show up, 4, 5, 6. We might not need that many at first. And it would be the kind of a deal, if there's nobody sitting there and there's no other space, go ahead and use it. But, you know, it would be available, no chair in some of the spaces so that a wheelchair can just pull right up.
So we-
And it's a matter of not having to squeeze between tables.
So we could have a city council member sign up as greeters for like segments of this thing, so. You could get people, here's the person in a wheelchair, would you like to sit over here, this is a special area.
Yes,
You know, and we
Yeah.
could,
a greeter, that would be
Okay,
wonderful.
you've got it.
oh, I'm fine with that.
Thanks.
I mean, but I like to.
Counselor Hover's gonna be the breeder.
But not for the whole thing, I just like to break it up into like
It's
2
only
hours.
2 hours.
No,
It's
it's
free.
from 7 to 1. so-
No.
No, so that's for the bazaar, so.
Sorry. No.
Bazaar, so the bazaar is set up.
So 7 to 9, staff.
Santa is actually only there for 9 to 12,
So.
or 10 to 12.
10 to 12, 2 hours.
Because breakfast starts at 9,
So it'd be from 9.
Okay.
yeah.
9 to 12.
Who else wants to be a greeter with,
I can do it.
okay,
Good.
excellent.
And we can either split it or just do it together, whatever you want to do.
And the rest of us will be roving. Hello, good.
Can we eat breakfast too while we're done?
But you gotta pay for
I know, I come down and eat.
it. I usually do too. I go get my big coffee and then I come down.
We have
Bag across the bacon.
do we have somebody to take money and hand out?
That's usually the,
Safe committee from the,
Oh, okay.
yes, the safe committee is the one that cooks the breakfast and sells the breakfast. And we just support with hot cocoa,
Santa.
coffee and Santa.
Gotcha.
And our
Alright,
faces.
good.
right on.
Okay.
Any more questions or comments or concerns about that?
Oh, can we ask the city to, like, just make up some signs, reserve seating? Please, and thank you. And we can get a little more formal.
Or do like an RSVP?
We can put a little note, ADA reserve, so people understand it's not for the big wigs or something like that.
Yeah.
Otherwise it'd be like, what? And we get all city council members will go sit in the reserved seats.
Yeah.
Oh.
One could.
All right, we're gonna move on to city council comments and concerns, and since we're already down there with you, Kitty, we're gonna start with you.
Well, all right, I did mine for tonight already. I'll leave it at that.
All right.
So the only thing I have is that the DCDA, at the meeting at the beginning of the month, voted to approve the creation of the farmers market committee. And we have since had our first meeting, over at Cypher, is Michelle, over there is part of the committee. And it was a great meet and greet. Right now we have 11 committee members.
It's good.
Right.
We're talking about the formation of a farmer's market.
For here in Dayton.
Yeah, and that would be crowds and vegetables and that kind of stuff.
Have you guys talked to Lafayette, because they have a Saturday market, they have
I
the.
think that does too.
So I've been working directly with McMinnville and the McMinnville Downtown Association and the Director of Events and Communications and Marketing. They've been giving us a lot of material to help us get started. In fact, at that meeting that we just had, everybody that got a chance to look at the material that we already had on hand was blown away that we were already set up that well. They were expecting to walk into this blank slate. So it was nice. So yeah, I'm getting a lot of direction.
Maybe have it on a day that nobody else is having it.
So we're still discussing it. I have my own personal thoughts on it. And it's a big picture thought, since we have Dayton Friday nights. That starts up in the end of June. The farmer's market, I think, would be a good fit for Sunday from 11 to 3. And then have an entity, whether it be the school district, the churches, the city, the DCDA, whomever, do some sort of activity on Saturday. So it gives our community, starting in June, end of June, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of activities. So I think that's important for our community, but also for our visitors. It will keep our visitors here in town. They come in for the music on Friday nights. They stay in town because there might be some activities during the summer on Saturdays. And then before they leave, there's a farmer's market. And so it just keeps everybody here. Hopefully we're confident in our business. So,
A lot of bodies.
but we're still discussing all that. Like I said, our first meeting was just a meet and greet. Everybody got to shake hands and see each other face to face.
Excellent,
So, yeah.
right on.
I got nothing right now.
I have a question, is there going to be a tree lighting and what is its shape and who is running that?
It's like a home on the creek.
Like the Christmas tree lighting, that should be.
So-
They have them on
I
Saturday.
spoke to Jeremy about the condition of it, and we're going to have an arborist out. Make sure that we check out the lighting and fix some of those things, strands that are just hanging down. So that at least the tree will look, appropriate. So that part I've got going. We'll decorate the park with public works like we do the last 2 years. And then the tree lighting.
We have advertised for it. Usually it's the hot cocoa and the cookies that we give out. So in the budget, if we're getting toys from somewhere, we could probably use some of that money into the tree lighting and get the cookies that we usually give out.
What do you guys need from council for that day in
Um,
terms of participation?
We need help handing out cookies and hot chocolate.
Yeah, that's the main thing.
In here? Or?
Uh,
out
the park.
Out there at the corner by the thing, hearing the thing.
By the bandstand, or no, I think where we were gonna put it.
We're gonna put it under the shelter,
Right,
but
in the picnic bench.
mhm. Yeah, so that's where we need most help is handing out the hot cocoa.
Are we doing the night before Christmas?
If you want.
What day is that on the?
It's the day after, it's a Saturday
Saturday
after
of
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving, 29th.
Mhm. Yes.
Around 29.
Which that I believe is the day they're hiring the Santa
Right, so,
at Cypher and Soiree.
right,
Mhm.
but they're doing daytime.
Yeah.
And this event is
Is in the
dusk.
evening.
so
Yeah,
the
dusk,
light
like
big
5.
effects.
Mhm.
But I'm just wondering if we can coordinate that to kind of. Go sit on Santa, because typically, well. From my experience, I've only lived here 6 years, but. There's a Santa, there's a brass quintet. Are we mixing those things? I just don't know where this is.
I think he has.
What would you like to see?
Well. It's kind of late,
We haven't really-
it's kind of late to be planning that, but it'd sure be nice to support downtown businesses that are trying to do this other Santa thing. It'd be really nice to see
That's
if we
what
can,
the DCDA does.
yeah, that's what I mean. I think, so that, I guess, actually, that was my initial question, like, this feels like a DCDA event. Not a city event.
Mhm.
Or at least it should be, and we should hand the baton to them, and it should be supportive of all the businesses that are downtown. And draw the people downtown, and it should not be a city council event, especially if the December 13th breakfast is a city council event. It, to me, makes no sense that DCDA is not doing the 29th. Yes, we should have it on our calendar, obviously we should support it. But I don't. So now we have a couple of downtown businesses that are busting a hump to get a Santa. That needs to be supported.
Let me just give you a
Yeah, give me history, let me know.
And there's new stuff.
uh,
No, it's good, it's good. So I'll let you do like the prequel
okay,
and then I got the post.
excellent. The prequel was, there was some tensions between several city people and DCDA and some businesses. And that made it impossible to work together. And I'll just leave it in a nutshell like that. If you want more details, I can give you.
No, that's okay, that is, so was that up through last year?
To some degree, yes.
Okay,
Let's just leave it.
But post, you tell
So
me, because
post,
I have,
there's been a lot of improvement with relationships. With businesses here locally. There's been a strong desire to be more involved. These businesses with events. Hence why I was able to get Michelle on the farmer's market committee. And so there was some tension there. She's explained a little bit of it to me. She's ready to move on. The DCDA, real quick, is not an events committee. It's more of a downtown, it's a Main Street Oregon type committee. There's 4 pillars. Events falls under one. And so they do the Dayton Friday nights. However, they do the caravan of lights as well. Getting ready to do hopefully the farmer's market and a couple other neat ideas.
Is the caravan of lights the same night?
Working on that right now. So I don't have a definitive answer.
It's like that would be a really exciting thing to put on.
I'm working to try to coordinate that, to be on the same night. So my question back is, can I get looped into all those conversations about the Christmas tree lighting event? I think if nothing else, I personally might be able to help, with that. But also tie in some of the other DCDA members possibly, and bring some ideas to the table that I've been discussing with the DCDA as well. That might help amplify the entire block. So.
Yeah, I always wondered why it was blah, 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 and I always felt the same thing, so.
Mhm.
It would be nice to have like one big, lots of music, yeah,
Totally agree.
dancing,
Yeah, music and celebrate the lights, or the caravan of lights.
Well, next caravan lights are a lot of fun. I mean, they come around Palmer Lane and I always go running up there to the stop sign so I can watch it. It's like, and I'm no kid, but it's fun.
and I bought special magnets that are lighting for my car, because I will never put tape on it.
Right. Well, it feels, it just feels like we're a little behind the 8 ball here on planning it for this year. It's a month away.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to go with status quo for this year, and we need to recalibrate for the coming year, and I think Chris will be helping with a lot of that.
The status quo is
What we're already,
turn the lights on and pour some hot cocoa.
yeah,
Okay.
And that's gonna be a city council event.
no, okay.
I mean, I was just looking, I just put it down.
The
at
breakfast
29.
with Santa,
Yeah.
I want you to make your face appear.
Right.
The Christmas lighting thing, yes, please come if you can, but you're gonna have your FaceTime during the Santa thing.
Who's doing the cocoa?
Pardon?
Who's doing the cocoa? Nobody?
We should actually do the cocoa because staff generally does it.
Yeah.
So we need to have staff, but we need to find out what staff needs, like how many volunteers. So maybe staff can bring us a clearer picture of what you need.
At least 4 volunteers at the table handing out cookies and hot cocoa.
Okay,
How long is he in that?
It starts early.
5,
Five-ish.
big by 7.
So
Mhm,
a couple of them.
mhm.
I might be able to get you some volunteers.
Oh, that'd be great.
Yeah.
And I'll.
Oh, the kids. Yeah.
If I can get out of work in time to get here by 5, I haven't got off work till 5, so.
Put me in charge of it.
Let me go with, I don't come out in the cold
Mhm.
that much, but if I'm needed, let me know. I can always wrap up. But leave me as like plan B
Yeah, I think I'll do
for the outdoor stuff.
Well, I will come down and help, but I won't be here until like,
10 o'clock.
no. It takes me about 10 to 15
The
minutes.
good news is it's on a Saturday, so you're gonna be able
Oh.
to available.
Oh, I'll be available then. I'll just come with a little rum in my cup.
Oh, boy.
All right, and more,
No, I was just concerned about that event because it
Yeah.
feels like it's floating without any anchors on it.
yes, I feel that way about a lot of things.
Other than Priscilla, but I don't want her to hold down the whole fort.
Like usual.
No, it's in the topic of discussions to change in the future, but this year not possible. Councilor Herbert.
I just want to say thank you for putting this off until we have Jeremy president. We can talk about what the constrictions are, because the granting is essential to this project. And there's a lot of options that are really that that are really important that we discuss really thoroughly.
Yeah.
And I agree with some of Jeremy's reasoning, and I don't agree with other Jeremy's reasonings, and so I'd like to be able to talk with him present about that kind of thing. And second, I just gotta say, I really like the vibe in here, and thank you guys, this is a fun group, and I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. Do Dave or Dawn have anything tonight?
Not for me, no, I'm good.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
Yeah, thank you too for taking us around, and that was a lot of fun.
yeah, that was a good trip.
That was a good trip.
Excellent.
Anything from you, Lucia?
Like, I'm done talking.
She's responsible for the.
All right, I'll entertain a motion, please. 7:50, we are.